Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series. I noticed my mic wasn't was muted there, so it's like, I can start it as soon as I can click the button. All right, anyway, welcome everybody. We are here for NGS action here in Div A, and boy, my camera is going for a ride. Let's see if I can even that out a little bit. I think if that's gonna be going on, let's just go over to this instead. Not the mongoose. Oh man, I'm just a mess tonight. There we go. So you guys don't have to see me bouncing up and down there on the camera. But anyway, we've got Queen's Consorts versus Ferrets, and it looks like these guys are pretty much ready to go. Let's quickly jump into the map screen. We use this excellent map tool here. Queen's Consorts electing to not pick but ban out Sky Temple. That's right. If I could find my way back to that. There we go. It was a ban. There we go. They banned out Sky Temple. Dragonshire was then banned out by Ferrets, and then the pick going in there. I think we have the lobby ready to go here. Looks like we're just missing me. All right. So enough of me fumbling around. Let's get on into game number 1, which is going to be on Infernal Shrines, one of our favorite maps here. So, first pick, first ban. Yeah, I don't know why I'm not on Ghost Dunk's friend list. Feels bad, man. There we go. We should be friends. Definitely helps when somebody I have to talk to on a weekly basis is on my friends list, when especially in a world where I don't accept invites from people that aren't friends. So, thank you very much, Ghost Dunk, for correcting that mistake. I could have sworn you were on there. Anyway, oh, I'm ready, boys. Let's go. E-Fitting's giving me a lot of thinking faces. Here I am just sitting here waiting for the draft to start. Oh, we're waiting on Ember. Okay. That... well, you know, as rough a start as this has been, I do believe this is going to be a really great match. And there we go. Infernal Shrine is going to be our first map here. On the left, Queen's Consorts. Newly reminted Queen's Consorts as well. Hollis and Ember are back in action this week, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they perform. And, you know, I know for a fact that I changed the title of this stream, but I don't know for sure if I hit confirm or not, and I think I might have flubbed on that, so... let me go ahead and fix that for everybody. Let's see how many more issues I can have to start this night off. There couldn't be that many more, I don't think. How could there be? Maiev and Diablo are going to be the bans out to start here. Pretty common. Zeratul also just generally not getting to play the game very much from those who are... well versed in drafting.
Let the games begin.
And Medivh is going to be the first pickup here for Sir Sean Sheep on the side of Ferrets. Now both of these teams doing pretty well right now. 4-1 as it's listed on the NGS website. So two standout Div A teams looking to really push it to the next level here tonight. And Anna is going to be picked up here for Dr. Holiday. Now, as far as I know, Eye of Horus is still banned out, so it's going to automatically be the Nano Boost. And Junkrat also going to be picked up here for Hollis, so should be interesting to see how that turns out. St. Basil in here for Ferrets. Let's go indeed. I just want to see a good game, personally. That's what I'm all about, but here we go with the Stitches and the Malfurion. Is this the Kidnap comp? Guess we'll have to see. One of the things you do see on Infernal Shrines is these map objectives being fairly close to the forts themselves, so not too hard to isolate somebody with that gorge and quickly get them into a very troublesome spot behind enemy lines. But also, you can see that a lot with sieging in with the Punisher. You know, if you're able to bait it over and then eventually have the clean shot to pull somebody in. We've definitely seen that from time to time. Meanwhile, Queen's Consort's going to go ahead and ban out Jaina. Pretty much the highest burst damage mage in the game as far as how much you can put into one hit, you know, or one grouping of a hit. Jaina definitely high up there for burst damage, so not wanting to see that follow up on the Stitches hook into the Malfurion route. Meanwhile, Garrosh going to be banned out on the other side. Pretty decent counter to Stitches as he's trying to already isolate members of the other team. Doesn't want to be isolated himself by that Garrosh throw. Meanwhile, it's going to be Hanzo for Yonners and Dankstrom in tonight for Queen's Consort. It's going to be playing the Anubarak. So, Anub's definitely been one of those heroes that's been right near the top of the meta in terms of the tanks. So you love to see that. And it is going to be Imperius and Greymane. So Greymane's a pretty interesting hero in terms of where his place in the meta is. He had fallen out of the meta for quite a long time, but it feels like he's back in a big way recently. I'm seeing him pop up more and more. And of course Imperius, just monster of a solo laner. And good in the meta right now that's so heavy on tanks and high health pool heroes. So overall, I like the comp from Ferrets. Blaze is going to be the finish for Queen's Consort. It's going to bring in that bunker drop, most likely. I mean, technically Combustion is still a heroic, but I just never, ever see it at this level. But, you know, hey, bunker drop was nerfed on that cooldown, so, you know, you never know. But sometimes you just know. Riptire, though, along with the ability to just quickly escape with the bunker, Anubarak with the web wrap. There's a lot of disengage mechanics, the sleep, all of these things for Queen's Consort. So they should be able to fairly well control the end gauges. Medivh is going to have something to say about that, though, especially with the Imperius being able to jump in from those portals to be able to get the stuns. But we shall see. Medivh games are always fun, especially at this level when teams are so well coordinated and able to rotate around. But I want to thank everybody for joining me here tonight. A Friday night nightcap, if you will, here in the Nexus Gaming Series. Division A matchup. Two high-powered, high-octane teams from Div A. Queen's Consorts versus Ferrets. Let's start on the left. It is going to be Queen's Consorts with Hollis playing the Junkrat. Dr. Holiday going to be on the Anna. Yonners playing Hanzo. Ember is going to be on the Blaze. And Dankstrom going to be playing the Anubarak. Meanwhile, on the right, Ferrets, E-Fitting going to be playing the Stitches. Ghost Dunk on the Imperius. Wintermute is going to be on the Malfurion. Eric is going to be playing the Greymane. And gosh darn it, up in the air, we've got Sershan Sheep on the Medivh. I was thinking to myself, maybe I can remember, but maybe not. There we go. Alright, so early game. The hook goes out, the root right on point there by Wintermute, but no hook found. And it looks like everybody's just going to roll out to lane nice and early here. Way clear advantage, I would say, definitely for Queen's Consorts. I think it started early. We'll rotate on down. Hollis coming on in. Yawner's going to have to natural agility over, and the root almost there from E-fitting over the wall, but not quite finding the mark. Wintermute still on point with that root, though. Gotta love that combo. The faith from the support player, just knowing that hook's going to hit. And it eventually will. No doubt about that. Ghost Dunk up in the top lane against Ember, and actually struggling a little bit on the health department to start off this matchup. The percentage health should help Ghost Dunk with that, but at the end of the day, Blaze just has such good sustain. Should be a pretty interesting back and forth up in the top. Meanwhile, Camp grabbed by Ferrets, and they are looking for the invade. Grenade from Hollis trying to zone. Dankstrom still in here, but the hook lands onto Yawner's and is going to be able to jump away and sub 20 health. But that natural agility will make it out. But the Camp is going to go over to Ferrets. Portal up to the mid lane instantly here for Sir Sean Sheep. He'll clear out and try and help this push a little bit. I don't know if Ferrets has anything to do so, but a lot of times on the enemy side we see people try and give vision onto that well when you steal the enemy teams to try and have them focus it down. But we are going to see the root coming down onto Dankstrom there. Not going to quite find what the damage they need and follow up for the kill. But they're getting a nice amount of damage onto this front wall. The bottom cannon is gone. E-fitting going to be blasted away by that grenade. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, Ghost Dunk and Ember still going toe-to-toe. Wave clear advantage for sure for Ember there on the Blaze. I'm going to push that on in to the wall. Meanwhile, three-man top lane here for the Bruiser Camp. They're going to go ahead and get that started for Ferrets and get that rolling. Meanwhile, bottom lane, similar play by Queen's Consorts. Going to get the Khazra Camp rolling for bot. And then everybody's eventually going to rotate in towards this shrine. Whoever gets 40 first on the shrine going to be awarded the first Punisher of the game, an Archaean Punisher. It will be started. Greymane taking a bunch of damage early here in this contest, and actually goes down. Yawner's flexing early on the Hanzo. Scatter arrow for the win. And does have that level 4, that explosive Q. It's going to allow him to clear these pretty quickly. You know, in addition to already having a wave clear advantage, mainly from Junkrat, that's going to be a huge aid from Yawner's to the clear potential for Queen's Consorts. But it's pretty even so far. Blaze is just away in the top lane, clearing that camp, making sure it doesn't get value. Hook almost finding the mark on the backside there. It is 30 to 26 there, though, and a Nubarak is going to fall to that Greymane. And they push them out here, and now pretty much dead even on the shrine. Junkrat also going to fall as the dive goes in deep. So close on the count here. The scatter arrow doesn't find any additional ones. The explosive finds a couple, but the zoning is good. And Ferrets going to find themselves the first Punisher of the game. Level 7s are in as well. Slight level advantage right now, but nothing to write home about just yet. Punisher will be baited over the wall, and in comes the members of Ferrets with that portal. Hanzo gonna regret the day he pissed off John Cena in minute 4 of this matchup. And Nubarak gonna fall as well, and all the members are still over here, but Sir Sean Sheep is gonna have another portal to get them out fairly quickly here. Eric, though, taking a lot of damage from that bottom cannon tower. And as the wave eventually comes in, they'll be able to finish off the front wall while John Cena takes care of the actual fort itself. And the minions, nope, they're just going to completely skip over this part. Eric going to think better of it as well. So, well survives in the bot lane, but nothing else in that fort area. Sidewalls and all, it's all gone. don't need bunker if you kill them all with combustion. That's true, Synchrony. I agree with you. Don't need it. I don't need it. Definitely don't need it. We are going to see Hollis get hooked here. But I like the grenade response by Hollis at the same time. I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me. Camp quickly grabbed by Queen's Consorts before the members of Ferrets can even think to come over and invade and grab it. Meanwhile, we will see Ferrets grabbing their own camp on their own side. We'll meet in the middle. Almost half a level lead right now for Ferrets as they head in towards that level 10. 16 stacks right now on Medivh, so Sershan Sheep still going to play a little bit passive, but getting closer. Get even closer with each one of these passing map objectives. Good opportunity to get those as you go along. Up in the top lane, we'll check in on our solo laners. Ember now very, very healthy up here in the top lane. Multiple members missing off the map though, so I like not pressing in too far there. Clears that gate in the top lane, which definitely a nice win for the members of Ferrets is now they'll have no gates to bait that Punisher over should Queen's Consorts be able to get the next map objective, which is in top. You see level 10's coming in for both teams now. Over on the side of Ferrets, we've got the Polybomb along with Gorge, Angelic Armaments, we have the Twilight Dream, and the Go for the Throat. Meanwhile, over for Queen's Consorts, they are coming in hard on this engage. Dankstrom goes in, gets the stun and the cocoon out onto Sershan Sheep. Riptire also coming on the end of this, but I think the Ferrets is going to make it out of here. The Protect goes down, but Wintermute actually takes a ton of damage. The arrow and the fire from Ember is enough. And they're going to find themselves a kill onto that in the wall there. He made it to the gate, but that was not a big deal for Blaze. No problem there. Meanwhile, Riptire, Bunker, Nano Boost, of course, and the Dragon Arrow with that cocoon for the members of Queen's Consort. Yawner's down here in the bot lane. I'm going to go ahead and clear out this massive push. All three of the Consort camps still alive here, along with this occasional catapult. Ember getting kind of low. Gonna have to back out. As, now all 5 members are back, and they know that Hanzo is bot lane. Twilight Dream coming out off the end of that portal. They're gonna be able to take out Blaze. Revenge for Malfurion is here. And now we're going to see re-engage here by Queen's Consorts. Nice zoning. It is a 4v5, but multiple members of Ferrets very low after that tower dive to get Blaze. So all those high health pools, they'll come in and they'll get it evened out here. Blaze also now marching on up the top lane. Should be here very soon. Ghost Dunk trying to zone the members away. But they are still getting a lot of poke in here. Pretty much even on the minion count. As we see the arrow come in, the cocoon goes down once again onto Sershan Sheep. Riptire getting a little bit of damage out onto E-Fitting, but I don't know if that's the target that they really wanted on that exchange. Probably popped it before it went down. Huge burrow charge coming in on the backside though from Dankstrom. Does end up eating that Polybomb, and it looks like both teams will just walk away more or less unscathed for the moment. But with 30 already on the board here for Queen's Consorts, this is for sure going to be a frozen Punisher going over to the side of Queen's Consorts. So go ahead and pick it on up. Eventually. And there it is. They're going to be marching onto a top lane that is already pretty battered and bruised at the moment. Meanwhile, camp going to be picked up, just a slight bit of counter pressure in this top lane from Ferrets. Meanwhile, Imperius actually just completely noping out Ghost Dunk. Gonna go ahead and grab the Cosra Camp in the bot lane. And meanwhile, interesting call. Queen's Consort's not gonna push with this at all. They're just choosing to go and get pressure in other lanes. At this stage in the game, I don't hate that call, mind you. There's one thing you know for sure. You don't know if the next Punisher is going to be in mid or bot lane, for sure. But you know it's not going to be in the top lane. So having that top lane pressure, even having the keep in top lane, well, I mean, unless you can get the keep in top lane, it's not really that worth pushing. If you can get those catapults spawning all the time in top lane and have that counter pressure that your opponent's got to worry about, it makes a lot of sense to push with the top. But they probably were not going to get that keep if Ferrets defended it properly. So I like this call to just push out the other lanes, try and get some counter pressure. The issue is they really didn't get that much out of it in terms of actually pushing any of the lanes. They did steal the mid camp, but that's about it. Well, wall and all still available here in the mid. And mid is going to be where the next Punisher is. Meanwhile, top lane, the Shaman camp actually won out in that lane, however, does go down to the towers. Here comes a huge dragon arrow. Riptire are going to be following up here along with that bunker, and Eric rolling out, trying to make it away, will be able to. So again, all those heroics coming down, but not finding any kills off the back end of those, so they're just going to have to reset and try and come back in next time. They should still have all of these heroics up. No particularly long heroics on the side of Queen's Consort, so they can afford to try to take an N-gauge or two every now and then in between these phases. I like the troll portal coming in there from Sir Sean Sheep, just making Queen's Consorts think about it. Like, what if my team's over here and ready to portal in? It's a zoning intimidation portal. Well, this time the portal does go down, but this time it's for Ghost Dunk. Going to get him out along with that Force of Will. Very nicely done. E-Fitting, though, is trying to get the N-gauge onto Junkrat, but he's going to be slowed by Ember. And, oh, but the counter gauge on Junkrat is still good. Imperius and Stitch's fall, though. Definitely Queen's Consort's going to get the better of this exchange. 4-4-1. Shurshan Sheep, the only one left to tell the tale. The portal on into the top lane, and out goes Medivh. Meanwhile, Queen's Consorts are going to take their prize to the mid lane, and as we said earlier, the Shrine activating now in the mid lane. They can get this fort and get the well. Dankstrom utilizing those beetles to tank the tower. And that's going to be a big get now for Queen's Consorts. Not only do they have the 16 talent tier advantage as the Shrine is activating, but they also have the mid fort to fall back to if they should get into any trouble during this objective. And more importantly, they have their well to tap should they need a little bit of extra healing. Not that Dr. Holiday needs any help, mind you. Ferrets are going to take what they can get on the other parts of the map. You know, pick up that mid lane. And they do get 16. The question is, do they want the N-gauge? They're going to look for the hook. They find Dankstrom. And there it is. The kidnap is on. The roots come out, Polybomb, and the blow up. But it's going to be too late for them to counter-engage to try and get this, this Immortal. I'm actually a little bit surprised Queen's Consorts didn't want to 39 that. They could have maybe tried to wait for a Nubarak to come back, but while they had position, I don't hate the idea of them securing that Punisher. The question now is if they want to push in with it as 4. They do see that Ghost Dunk is down here, I do believe. I don't know, actually don't know if he showed on the wave. I think he might have had to rotate to where he is now, but either way, Queen's Consorts are in here, putting damage onto this keep front wall. Mortar Punisher going to offer a little bit of extra area denial and siege potential onto this keep, but ultimately not enough to make Queen's Consorts feel comfortable without Dankstrom. Dangstrom going to come on in. Back on into the 4-man, and Ember going to rotate away to the top lane. Surshan Sheep rotating around. Eye in the sky here. Keeping an eye out for where the members of Queen's Consorts might be. You know, I do see Hook onto Ember. And the web wrap. Dragon Arrow just going to travel right on over that team fight. And we will see E-Fitting waddling on back to the fort for now. Interesting interaction there. Thanks for doing a nice job saying no thank you to seeing Ember pulled away. Polybomb goes on the back end of Dr. Holiday, and Eric dives in deep and is able to get him. Now putting his sights onto Yonners, but it's going to end up getting blown up on the backside of that. Surshan Sheep throwing out that AoE Force of Will there. Ember very low. Gonna have to try and get out here. Hook goes on to Dangstrom, but they do have the Burrow Charge out there. It's gonna be enough to get him out though. No! Finally able to catch up with the new Barak, but meanwhile in the mid, the occasional catapult, along with the triple Khazra spear throwers here, starting to get some work done on this keep. Somebody's gonna have to go back and clear this. Looks like all the members are down here getting bot, and they're gonna leave it to Ghost Dunk. So yeah, a little bit of damage in the mid, not really a big deal. You don't hem and haw too much over the well in the mid keep area. If it's not at the fort, you're never gonna run back for it. So it looks like it's gonna survive though. Meanwhile, camp will be cleaned up here by Ember in the bot lane. Looks like 3 members of Queen's Consorts going to rotate up to grab their camp. Cleanup duty for Eric up in the top lane. And we will see Ferrets rotating on into the mid to clean up for the moment, along with grabbing their top camp to counter push. We'll have to see how Ferrets want to approach this. They can definitely stall this out and look to get level 20. Queen's Consorts not really in a position to force anything, but here it comes. The members of Ferrets still. Dragon Arrow goes out though. Yonners does get hit, but natural agility over the wall before E-Fitting can hit the gorge, and now level 20 is here. Queen's Consorts now put to the task of soaking until they get their level 20. While up in the top lane, it looks like the red Ferrets Shaman camp is going to win out up there, but oh no, they kept it alive, did the members of Queen's Consorts. Good rotation to be able to keep those dogs a-rolling. And they're actually just going to go straight in on this keep. There's no doubt that they can take it. It's going to be a straight trade out. The only question is if this is going to be a straight race for the core. Hook comes in, and it looks like Queen's Consorts are just more interested in getting the keep and leaving. So nice trade there. They knew they couldn't engage without the 20, so love the pressure in the other lane. And now the question is, will this Punisher be able to do as well down in the bot lane? With those quick Bs, Queen's Consorts are going to be here to definitely rotate and be able to try and take this out. They get quite a lot of damage on it before the members of Ferrets even get here. Dangstrom does get hit though by that hook, and great follow-up from Ferrets. That's a big pick. Exactly what they needed to be able to make sure they secure this keep, maybe even the game at this point. Ember getting very low. Unstoppable is popped. And we'll be able to back up there. Frozen Punisher still about quarter health as they're going to look to try and go onto this core. And they are going. Jump onto 2. The root not quite in time there to catch Ember. The massive Riptire blocked by an even more massive Force of Will there from Sean Sheep. And for now, it looks like Ferrets are looking to get out. They were mostly, I feel like they were mostly looking for picks there. And still are here looking for picks. If you're Queen's Consorts, you gotta be very careful here. The only way you lose this game right now is if you lose heroes. The huge portal in, as Ember is unstoppable, but not unkillable. Neither is Hanzo, and that's gonna be 2 going down, and that is gonna be it. Game number 1 is gonna go over to Ferrets here on Infernal Shrines? Wait a minute! I thought for sure this was a done deal, but E-Finning is not going to be able to finish this off, and it's a full clear! Oh, Mongoose, you did it the other night, and now here I am doing it. And now the march across the map as Queen's Consorts are going to go ahead and I think be able to take this on the other side. They've got 1 catapult up in the top lane, and there's already 13% damage on it with the, yeah, I'm right with Eric there. Quite interesting. They're going to push this in. Still 15 seconds until even just 1 member of Ferrets is back alive. Dankstrom is kind of strolling his way through the mid right now, and Hanzo is sending a beacon to teleport him across the map, but didn't take... No, he did take it. Okay. I didn't see him hop out of it. That was my bad. But now the members are back here. Ferrets are back in here. Twilight Dream, massive. Now Dankstrom is in all kinds of trouble. He's going to go down. Hollis, there's no way he's going to be able to finish this off, even with the death bombs and the counter throw, as this match will continue. Oh, what am I witnessing right now, ladies and gentlemen? Ferrets are going to win. Oh, I knew it all along. I never had any doubts. That's pretty incredible. It's been a while since I've seen a double core throw. Ember is going to do what they can, but there's just no way. There was no way. What a game. If this is any indication of how this series is going to go, ladies and gentlemen, buckle in. You've got quite a ride to go along with me here. As Ferrets score game number 1 here in this Division A best of 3 matchup. Whoo, doggies. All right, well. Yep, we're still bugged on the exit screen. But, I think I'm due for a reinstall to try and get that fixed. I got time. I got time this weekend. We're going to do it. But we are going to take a quick break as we get set up for game number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be an epic series. And we're going to be bringing you game 2 in just a moment. Don't you go anywhere. right, we are back, and we're set up for game number 2. Map number 1 on Infernal Shrines, won by Ferrets. And now going into map number 2, we'll see Tomb of the Spider Queen. Queen's Consorts electing to pick the map here. And will take us to Tomb of the Spider Queen. First pick, first ban, going to go on over to Ferrets. Now this map, also one of those maps that have a map objective that are not particularly easy to end the game with. So, you know, if we're wanting to up the ante and go for a triple core throw this time, Tomb of the Spider Queen would be probably where I would try to take it. But, you know, we'll see. We're going to see Diablo and Maiev, the initial bans. Pretty common at this level of play. You see a lot of Zeratul, Maiev, Diablo, Ana. You see a lot of Abathur bans, but I don't expect that on this map. This is definitely not one of his strong maps. And the Medivh is going to be the adjustment here for Queen's Consorts. And I'll say this much: with the heavy rotations from Ferrets, that game, I don't blame them at all. That was a lot of really strong portaling play from Sir Sean Sheep that time around. But they are going to go ahead and pick up the Ana to start things off. Ana's just been an absolute terror with her grenade build since her rework. Even without Eye of Horus, has just been incredibly strong. And it'd be interesting to see what they want to pair it with, of course. Nowadays, with Eye of Horus banned out here in NGS, you kind of go towards that idea of who can you nano boost on your squads. So having Ana kind of shapes a little bit of what you end up doing. Meanwhile, Tyrande and Johanna are going to be picked up here for Queen's Consorts. So good wave clear to start off with Johanna. And then, of course, the combo potential off of Tyrande. And it looks like Ferrets are going to go right back to the well here with the Stitches for game number 2. Gul'dan also picked up, so Eric going to get himself a little bit of wave clear of his own. Of course, Stitches no slouch in the wave clear department either. And it's a pretty good map for Stitches. We see a lot of Stitches here. So I really like that call. Go back to Stitches for Tomb. Meanwhile, Queen's Consort's going to say, let's not have Ghost Dunk on that hero again. The respect ban here and the turn. And Jaina going to be banned out by Ferrets. So they've got their Gul'dan. They want to limit some of the wave clear options for Queen's Consorts. Could see a Kael'thas, but he's not quite as common at this level of play, I find. You know, get as much value out of the potential bomb spread with higher tier players. And his shoulder pads are so large, sometimes he gets hit by those hooks. But, you know, they're going to pick him anyway, shoulder pads and all. We're going to see Blaze coming out as well. Seriously, though, for a mage, Kael'thas's targeting circle is massive. But Blaze coming out once again for Hollis. Last time it was Ember, but Hollis has picked it this time. They, of course, can swap here in custom matches, so we'll see if that ends up being a thing at the end.
Victory.
Meanwhile, Sylvanas coming out this time for Sir Sean Sheep, and Ghost Dunk going to go back to his patented Leoric that we've seen from him so often. Got to give a shout out to my man Ghost Dunk. Such a veteran here in NGS. He's been around as long as I've been around, so that's a while. Ember going to be our last pick here with Kerrigan. We'll see if they shuffle it around, but very front-loaded team here for Queen's Consorts. And I do like the Kerrigan pick on Tomb of the Spider Queen. The heavy rotational map, it's good to have a lot of CC, and with the comp that Queen's Consorts has, that's an incredibly scary four-man. You got Johanna Dankstrom here YOLOing in with big Condemn, possibly the Blessed Shield to follow it up. And then that's just all the setup in the world for Ember to throw the combo. Gravity Lapse from Kael'thas, Lunar Flare from Tyrande, and just profit after that. Either way, we are loading in here to game number 2. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Tomb of the Spider Queen, where it's all about wave clear and the camps don't really matter that much, except maybe the boss. Boss, of course, spawns in the top lane, so we'll see teams try to prioritize that most of the time during these web weaver phases. On the left, let's get started with Queen's Consorts, looking to take this to game 3. We've got Hollis going to be playing the Blaze. Dr. Holiday going to be back on Tyrande. Yonner's going to be playing the Kael'thas. Dankstrom going to be on Johanna. And Ember going to be playing Kerrigan. Meanwhile, on the right, Ferrets up 1-0 in the series. Ghostunk going to be playing the Leoric. Wintermute going to be on Anna. E-Fitting going to be on Stitches. Search on Sheep playing the Sylvanas. And Eric going to be on Gul'dan. And in we go to the mid lane. The WrestleMania of NGS matches. Out the gate, 5v5. Both these teams will come, but Ghostunk quickly going to slip out the back door and head to bot, as we saw him do in the last game. Meanwhile, rotation to the top lane here for Queen's Consorts. Yonner's actually just barely escaping from potential disaster there, as the Sleep Dart was coming in real close, and E-Fitting was kind of right next to him. He was probably safe. You know, Dankstrom was around, but very aggressive rotation. Meanwhile, the full 5-man rotation into mid here. Ghostunk walking up, seeing if they could find something, but for right now, it looks like both teams going to be fine and rotate onto the top lane. On the bot lane, it's going to be Blaze versus the Auric. Wave clear advantage to Hollis to start this out, but Ghostunk will be able to get a little bit better with that. But nice denial. I like Ghostunk zoning Hollis back, kind of daring him to come in. Meanwhile, Dr. Holiday does get hit by the hook there. A lot of follow-up damage coming in from Eric as well. Good poison damage from Gul'dan. My man B-Train will appreciate that. Tyrande ends up falling off the heels of a huge slam there from E-Fitting. And you can see the wave clear advantage starting to come into play there. Hollis gonna go ahead and charge on out with that jet propulsion as soon as that spooky hand landed from Ghostunk. You know, both members going to go ahead and get started on their respective camps. While they send just one to the top to soak. E-Fitting now up to 11 or 10, 9? I don't know. I don't know how to count. Caster math, ladies and gentlemen. Dankstrom will go ahead and pop in the first gems of the game. 14 scored for the side of Queen's Consorts. And down in the bottom lane, Ghostunk still kind of getting that advantage. You see about a half-level lead. It looks to me like he is zoning Hollis enough. He's not getting every single one of these minions as they die in the wave. So I love that zoning from Ghostunk. High-quality plays there. Ghostunk, of course, well known as someone who is a student of the game. Studies quite a lot in how this game works. Wrote a massive article on changes from previous iterations of the game that I would suggest everyone check out. Even got some attention from the Heroes of the Storm developers. So you expect them to make those kind of high-level plays that's just fitting from somebody who plays the game a lot and knows a lot about it. Meanwhile, E-Fitting hitting the combo onto, or hitting the hook onto Yonners, but gets a whole lot of CC in return. Ultimately, though, no kills. Just going to kind of slow the rotation a little bit for the members of Ferrets as they go back and forth here. And they are looking for the combo. Actually, a little bit too far on the stun there for Ember. As E-Fitting gets pulled out of that combo. And now Dankstrom in all kinds of trouble. Going to have to back up for the moment. And actually going to go ahead and hit the B button. Tells Tyrande, don't worry about it. I'll just use the B button. It gives me a big heal. Meanwhile, back and forth in the top is now just one more gem away is Ferrets here. Hook so close there onto Yonners. Not quite landing, though. And the red web weaver is going to come out here. Meanwhile, down in the bot lane, Ghost Dunk still fairly well bullying Hollis, but still good sustain on Blaze, so holding their own on both sides. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, looks like that's where the defense is going to be focused here for Queen's Consorts. Going to proc the rotation from Ferrets to go down to mid, rather than fighting them one-on-one. They want to utilize Sylvanas' Black Arrow to be able to push here. They shut down the front wall, but the clear was pretty quick there for Queen's Consorts. They're going to go ahead and rotate down here to try to deny that additional push from Sylvanas with these web weavers. Top lane does end up falling for that web weaver. Mid will fall as well. Only front wall grabbed here, and now the rotation to the bot as Sershan Sheep going to aid Ghost Dunk in the push, and Hollis actually jet propulsions forward and dodges that hook. And for right now, it looks like we'll get on back to the laning phase. So, two front walls grabbed there by Ferrets, and that's, you know, that's right around the average of what you would expect from a first turn-in. Ghost Dunk going to go ahead and zone away here. Again, really smart player here in NGS. Just knows a lot about the right mechanics to play the game in the macro. Not going to get a turn-in on his watch. Unless you force him to rotate away. Ember proves me wrong and gets that turn-in with Ghost Dunk in the bottom lane there. Meanwhile, combo not quite finding the mark there onto Eric. And the blue web weavers are going to come out. So often, I find with these web weavers, you don't necessarily want the first one a lot of the time. You don't get the most value out of it. It can help you in the race to 10, but it's the second web weavers that often get a lot more damage as the strength of the map objective ramps up. But we'll see ultimately what Queen's Consorts can get out of this. They were close to getting a pick there in the top, which would have helped, but they're going to go ahead and push in the mid and leave top to push on its own. Sylvanas going to be up there in defense. Meanwhile, 3-man defense here in the mid. Phoenix going to be thrown out nice and early as level 10s come in for both teams right away. Condemn and Blessed Shield are out here as they are going in deep. Ember going to go ahead and pop the Maelstrom, and they do manage to take down Stitches, but look on the back end. Sershan Sheep porting in and is going to be dealing a ton of damage. Blaze is here to throw down the bunker, but Yonners is under a duress here from Ghost Dunk. The Wraithwalk coming forward, tries to get the swing, looks around and actually takes out Blaze with that march. And holy cow, they get Yonners away, but Blaze pays with his life. And while all that is going on, top was cleared, mid was cleared, with just minimal damage to the fort, and bottom lane doing pretty well too. So both teams actually just getting front walls at this point out of their web weavers. Again, slightly more for Queen's Consorts, but no forts fallen. Oh, we got a quick break here. Let's go over these level 10s. For the side of Queen's Consorts, we've got Drop Bunker along with the Shadow Stalk, Blessed Shield, Maelstrom, and the Phoenix. Meanwhile, for Ferrets, we've got Wailing Arrow, Nano Boost, Horrify, Putrid Bile, and the March of the Black King. Very interesting that they're going March here, is Ghost Dunk, over the more popular talent of Entomb. Not wanting to hold in the members. And it makes sense to a certain point, I think, for me. Queen's Consorts as a very hard engaged comp. So if he can get to the back, even if it can get to the back line and look to try and catch either Yonners or Dr. Holiday in an Entomb, they're just going to get destroyed on the backside of that from the members of Ferrets, or from Queen's Consorts diving onto the back line of Ferrets. So I appreciate that adjustment from Ghost Dunk here. I think it's definitely a wise one. Going to be able to get a little bit more self-sustained and damage with those big swings. Meanwhile, big corruption coming in from Eric. Dealing a bunch of damage to Yonners. Ember does get hit by the hook. And with a Horrify on the backside of that, catching Yonners and Ember and Eric. What a Horrify. Holy cow. And right as the blue web weavers come out, disaster for Queen's Consorts, as now the two of the best members in terms of siege damage and kill pressure are down, and they are not going to be able to aid the web weavers at all in this push in the top and mid lanes. Bottom is going to be where they're going to focus, but Ghost Dunk is still going to be able to hinder this. Should he live? Stunned out seemingly forever there, but he's going to go ahead and Wraith Walk around and through. Going to get healed up as well by Wintermute on the backside of that. Meanwhile, Stitch is eating some CC as he's trying to make it back to his team, but Queen's Consorts not having that. All 5 members are now back up, and here in the bot lane for Queen's Consorts, the Ghost Dunk going to Wraith Walk away, but now Eric kind of in a pickle down there as Ember's going to jump in on him. We do see the Gravity Lapse come out, and that is going to be it for Gul'dan. Meanwhile, Maelstrom popped from Ember. Ghost Dunk going to go ahead and start marching forward, but a brilliant bunker from Hollis. They completely dodged the March of the Black King, turn around and kill him as soon as he was done stomping. Dr. Holiday slowed here. Sershan Sheep marching forward, but Ember not having the pull there to combo with that stun. And they will be able to zone them away, and the hook does not land on Ember. God, that's close. Whew! Ember was feeling the heat from that hook. And it's going to end up just being the one kill out of all that. I don't know how only one person died from all of that action, but, you know, there it is. Red Web Weaver is going to be coming out now. About a level lead for Ferrets, as they're still about a level away from 16. So much action here on Friday night. And they're going to be pushing in the top lane this time around. Mid lane already fairly well softened up. Thanks from throwing down the spray. Gotta love it. And just a massive Web Weaver wave there, hitting most of the members of Queen's Consorts. Suddenly they are on the retreat as Eric gets that nano boost. But they are not going to do much in terms of siege damage here. Dankstrom getting kind of low. Gets hit by the hook, but Iron Skin's going to be popped. The turn is real on E-Fitting. A couple members hit that by that Horrify, but just keeps Ember walking forward. Stitches will end up falling on the back end of that. Hollis getting very low, but is going to go ahead and get in the bunker, and we'll be able to cleanse that poison away. Eric stepping forward, maybe trying to look for something. Meanwhile, all the while, Ghost Dunk just getting value down here in the bot lane. There's the Wraith Walk. He's willing to die for this, ladies and gentlemen. He does not even care. He just wants the keep. Will march forward to try and stay alive a little bit longer, but now everything's shooting him down. And he is going to fall without getting the keep. But meanwhile, while they're so busy with him, top lane is going to fall for this fort. Can they stop the retreat, though? Hollis not quite able to find anything with the jet propulsion. Sershan Sheep does, of course, have the Haunting Wave, which could have taken him out, but actually goes back in. The CC coming down. Will he live to regret it? Or will he die and regret it? There are only two options. Regret is involved no matter what. Hollis, oh, Oh, almost hooked. Oh, splitting the uprights there is fitting with that hook. My goodness.
Having trouble.
Oh, man. Level 16 in for Ferrets now. Very, very close, those Queen's Consorts. fitting once again, almost getting the hook, but the gate denying it. Hollis going to rotate down to the bot lane and look to clear out the bottom wave. And again, you know, Ferrets just doing a nice job of getting what they can, pushing in just a little bit. Mark Zombie with the 23 raid. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I think you guys just finished up a Div A match of your own. Well, welcome to the Fiesta, ladies and gentlemen. No, it's not a clown fiesta. It's just a party. Don't be too overly sensitive about it. We've got Queen's Consorts and Ferrets. If you guys missed game 1, you missed a heck of a finish. Go back and watch the VOD, I'm serious. But here in game number 2, Ferrets driving right now, but this thing can turn on a dime, trust me. Ember getting low. Horrify still available here for Eric as the nano boost comes out, but not quite finding anything worth going after there. It looks like for now they'll just settle for clearing the mid lane. Queen's Consorts does come in. They're looking for the engage onto fitting, but there's the Horrify out, and the Chrysalis is going to be popped. Ember is able to heal up enough, and the bunker is just massive. Tons of fire raining down on Ferrets. If they look to turn, they will take down Ghost Dunk before that first swing can come out from March. And we're going to see the members looking to turn in, but Hollis actually gets hooked over the wall there. Fitting finally finding a hook that he wanted after missing multiple, just barely in a row throughout the back half of this match. And there's another hook, this time onto Yonners, and goodbye Kael'thas. I think he maybe didn't have the Arcane Barrier available there. That's going to be a big pick-off for the members of Ferrets. They've got Ghost Dunk back right now. And they don't have enough to turn in, but they can definitely deny it here. Goaltending is good for the members of Ferrets as Queen's Consort's trying to find something onto fitting, but not quite able to finish up that gank attempt. Dankstrom does get hit by the hook. The sleep comes out, and the damages are big. Johanna goes down, and Ferrets starting to really put the stagger onto Queen's Consorts as they'll dump the rest of their gems and are getting very close to having a turn-in available. Eric will finish up the camp down in bot. And another hook coming out. Sleep to start to follow it. Hollis going to have to pop Pyromantic and the Jet Propulsion to get away. Doesn't have to use the bunker, so there is that. I think we're all having a great night, Pandemona. Thanks for tuning in. Meanwhile, clear up in the mid. Queen's Consorts on cleaning duty.
My magic is yours.
Hook out. And we will see the Web Weavers descending now for Ferrets. They're so close to 20 here. It's going to be in shortly after these Web Weavers come down. Of course, we'll not give the burst of XP, but we'll add a little bit to the trickle effect. Ember kind of keeping an eye out in the bot lane, but everybody eventually going to rotate around to the mid. Shershan Sheep just eating a ton of poison damage there. And meanwhile, we do see Ghost Dunk sharking around with that Wraith Walk, looking for something. Ember going to throw out the stun as fitting, rooting himself in place with that hook. Going to cancel out any attempt to pull anybody back. Meanwhile, it looks like for now, the members of Queen's Consorts more interested in clearing the bot lane than trying to defend or fight up here in the top. Nano Boost is going to come out, but this time it's onto Shershan Sheep instead of Eric. And we do see Ghost Dunk trying to stay alive there with that Wraithwalk. Actually is finding a lot of health. More from Wintermute, though, than from actually, you know, and that Wraithwalk actually keeping him standing still. I've never thought of that as a mechanic, but very, very neat to see that happening for passive healing. But Sylvanas falling on the back end to that massive living bomb there from Yonners, and the turn is real as the member's trying to get away, but Bunker's going to come down. Huge stun coming in as well, trying to keep the members tied in here. But for right now, they're just marching on down the mid lane like they don't have a care in the world. Like they don't have a scary Kerrigan following them around. Double stun does come out, but members had already started to split off. Hollis now getting low. Hook does land onto Hollis. The sleep dart as well. Can they finish him? Yes, they do. Chrysalis being popped. Will Ember be able to get out of this? No. And Ferrets with a massive turn here. Dankstrom, I don't think is going to make it out of this. Does, I believe, still have the, yeah, there it is. The shield coming out, indestructible. But Ghost Dunk, again, just so smart. Knew it was coming. And ladies and gentlemen, I called it last time, so I don't want to call it too early this time, but the GGs are coming out from Hollis. I think this might be it. Shershan Sheep still marching down the mid lane. Just a ton of siege damage going down onto the core. The shields are gone. The Honor's trying to find what damage he can, but Wintermute is so low on the back end of this, but still has all that healing with that fire grenade. And that is going to be it. Game 2 and the series. Ferrets. Go ahead and pick up the win here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. GG, well played. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. My end screen has been bugged for the last couple casts, so I apologize. We don't have the talents or the stats up, but we are going to go ahead and reach out to Ferrets, see if we can find somebody to pull in for a quick interview. And then we'll be right back with our winners interview here for Division A. Don't go anywhere. All right, and we are back. We have not one but two members of Queen's Consorts with us for the winners interview. We've got...
Wait, Queen Consorts.
Or, sorry, Ferrets. I was reading the wrong one. Tonight. Sorry, Ferrets. We've got team captain Shershan Sheep along with E-Fitting. How you guys feeling after that win?
Pretty hype, honestly.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I don't know. I'm a little tilted, but that's okay.
It's okay. Consider me your NGS bartender. What is tilting you?
I don't know. That was just a bad those were like we've been practicing stitches for a long time now, and those were some pretty bad hooks for me. And every time I missed one, I was really upset.
There were a couple times where those hooks were coming in, and I was sure it was going to be a hit, but it just would just barely split between like all 5 members. So I don't think you can blame yourself for that. I think that's just Queen's Consorts having the dodge and the spidey senses, but
yeah, they were actually pretty good, like at least dodging hooks. And their team was really well put together. Like I thought they played really well.
Yeah, so I was gonna mention that both teams 4-1 on the season. Big Friday night matchup here. How are you guys feeling going into the match? Like, what were your expectations? And you know, then seeing it afterwards, how do you feel about how everything went down?
I mean, we just tried to go in honestly as chill as possible because we play better on a clear mindset. Like, you know, we crack jokes and stuff in draft stuff, but when we were in the game, we play a lot more serious. But we just went in with the, I guess, happy and fun mindset and picked our comfort picks, and I guess it worked out.
Yeah.
All right. So one thing I wanted to talk about was the Medivh. We saw big Medivh plays in game number 1. Tell me a little bit about how you guys feel about Medivh in the meta right now and how he fits into your team comps.
Oh, we love Medivh. We pick him as much as possible. We have like a set amount of characters that we just pick pretty much no matter what. I'm not gonna say which ones, but no. We pick a certain amount of characters just all the time, and Medivh is one of those people. And I mean, you can see our last week's game actually, or 2 weeks ago actually. We didn't pick Medivh. The enemy team picked Medivh, and we actually got screwed over because we didn't really play into it much. And I think Medivh is one of the best characters in the game if you know how to play him on a team level. Because then you could just kind of snowball games. I mean, in that game, I never really finished Master's Touch, but I still got a bunch of utility off the Greymane whenever I remembered to throw a shield on him, never died, and the portals were able to disengage and engage, and actually there, we were able to bait out a lot of, like, skill shots when we had them in. So I throw out the portal, Junkrat, throw it on, and that was a free skill shot gone. Or not skill shot, but displacement.
Yeah. Personal opinion, I think Medivh is actually way underrated for some reason. Like, I think he's one of the strongest characters in the game, for sure. And before HEC went away, you know, he was being contested a lot, and for some reason he just kind of fell off the face of the earth with at least, you know, teams at our level.
Yeah, I would agree. It feels like that he's been less prevalent since HGC went away. Going to game 2, tell me a little bit about what led to the decision to have Ghost Dunk end up going with March.
Ooh, that's all Alex.
Okay, so yeah, we actually talked that over because we pretty much exclusively pick Entomb too, but in draft, or at least right after draft, we were talking about it. And we were like, you know, if they focus down Ghost, you know, this is perfect. Like, we should totally go March, because even if we get a lot of value off Entomb, you know, we have to group up to follow up, which is what they want. They want us to be a grouped up ball of mess, and so if he went March and they burned all of their cooldowns on Ghost, then he could just get all of his health back and survive, and I think it worked out pretty well, but there were a lot of moments where I was like, yeah, that was a great pick, and proud of Ghost for trusting at least me enough, because you know, and allowing us to pick that even though it wasn't in his comfort zone.
All right, yeah, I mean, I definitely think it did pay dividends for you guys in the end. A lot of just YOLOing in and then getting all that extra sustain seemed to work out pretty well. Last question for you guys. After getting this big win and this huge matchup, where do you guys feel like you fall in Div A, and what are your kind of long-term goals between now and the end of the season? Do you think you guys can take it all?
I think we can.
I think we can, honestly.
Yeah, I don't want to get too cocky, but I think, like, all things considered, we're doing really well in the season. I mean, we've only dropped one game, and I think considering how we did in Division S, which was we didn't get to top 16 or top 8, but we did relatively well, and I think we translated those skills to NGS very well, and I'm pretty confident that we can at least make like top 4 at least.
I agree. You know, I think we can definitely do that, and end of the season is always the goal is always going to be to take playoffs and that sort of thing. But I think we can totally do that.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for coming in for the interview. Congratulations on the win tonight. And if you've got any shout-outs, the floor is yours.
Shout out to Seth Teller, Butcher God. Extraordinary.
Anyone who's a Butcher God, I think, warrants a shout-out. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's the person that we're all gonna say. Okay. Other than our team, first of all, our team is great. Like we communicate, so we've gotten so much better over like Division S and like the time we've practiced. But there's one person in particular that we always shout out. This guy is named Ferret. He is our man. He's the person our name came after, but he had to leave because of other obligations. So,
Yeah.
Ed, if you're watching this, you're our favorite port player.
Oh, winner, get called out. Oh.
I'm sorry, Winter.
I love you, Ferret. Don't ever go away from my heart.
All right. Well, thank you very much, guys. Again, congratulations. I'll let you go back to your teams and enjoy the big win. Have a good night.
Me too.
All right, everybody. Well, that is going to do it for me tonight. Congratulations once again to Ferrets, and thanks for both of these teams for coming out and playing. You guys will be able to find this VOD on YouTube sometime tonight. I'll get it posted up pretty quick. I think the cast all came together with no skips tonight, so happy to see all of those issues resolved this time around. But I also want to shout out NGS, particularly the patron. I've been really bad about shouting out that this season, but go check out the new Patreon rewards. I am a patron, and they've been giving us all kinds of cool goodies. I definitely want one of those sweet NGS cards at the end of the season, so check that out. They've got all kinds of different tiers for you guys to go support, so you can check that out on the patron page for NGS. The YouTube channel's been popping. We've got all kinds of good stuff being uploaded to the NGS channel, so don't forget to check that out. And until next time, for the Nexus Gaming Series, I am Jayzon, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good night.